the concept of the more mindset began with feeling like the one question, that absolute, it's a question, it's a statement, it's whatever you want to call it, Jake. It was me literally at a pivotal time in my life where I said, there has to be more to life than living this way. There has to be more. That's literally what changed my life. And anytime that I came at a crossroads, I'm like, there has to be more. And later in my journey, when I said, gosh, I have to write, I started to write like 15 years ago. I started to write, and just things that I was feeling, things that I was going through, things that I learned, things that I discovered, quotes, other people's quotes I would write down. I'd make my own quotes. Ironically, I would just write my own quotes. I would just get inspired by the scriptures of the Bible. I would get inspired by, I don't know, it's interesting when you're going through some things and when you really are open to receive answers to change your circumstance, things just kind of come to you. But the concept of the more mindset really happened with one question, one statement that I said to myself, there has to be something more than living life this way. And what is that, right? And so I started to change my life one shift at a time. Nothing happened overnight. It's interesting because I'm going to tell you a little secret. I haven't said this to anyone. Right now, the book says break mental limits and step into extraordinary results. What it used to be was it was talking about going from limiting beliefs to an empowering mindset, right? And so and I talk all about that here. And again, it's awareness, because I can't tell you how many people I've coached single-handedly, and to see them come out on a whole different human now, it's just it's an honor, complete honor, and it doesn't happen for me alone. But when you're having a limiting belief, it's awareness first, because I've had many people that have had actual limiting beliefs, and this is very normal. There's nothing wrong with you, but you believe a certain thing and you don't even know that it's a limiting belief, because why? You were taught this. So you think this is hard science, this is hardcore, this is a fact. So the first thing is challenge the thought. Is this a fact? Or is this an assumption? Oh, well, no, this is a fact because my mom told me and that's what she experienced, or my teacher told me and that's what they experienced, or no one's been able to do this. No one ever. Right. And so I think the biggest thing is that don't look at your circumstance as face value. And some people think that's delusional. It's not delusional. It's that there's always another way. There's always another option. Always another option. I could be fearful or I could be hopeful. Very two different impacts on my emotion, my health, my mental health, the way that I breathe, my nervous system, all the mechanics. It's like, if you think about your mind, you're an operating system. It affects your body, it affects your breathing, it affects what else you think of next. And what you think of next will affect the action that you take or the action that you don't take. The phone call you decide to do because you're hopeful, or the phone call you say, I'm done, I give up, there's no other reality for me. So, right. So the thought, I don't even want to say limiting belief, because there's so many people that think and believe, and I know that for years and years, that don't know what a limiting thought actually is. So when you're having a thought, there's going to be three things that happen, Jake. Every thought. Well, should I have pasta or should I go for the chicken salad? Right? Should I call the customer that never called me back, or should I wait because I'm going to be pushy? Right? All the things, all the thoughts. So for every thought, I want you to do this one thing. Does this move me forward? Does it hold me back? Or does it keep me the same as status quo? And you might say, you know what? I don't really care. Chocolate vanilla ice cream keeps me the same. Then that's fine. There's many things that are going to keep you the same, and it's okay, right? It's when you know that this is self-defeat, that this doesn't serve me. Will the bank give me the loan? Well, how can I control that? Doesn't matter. Will the bank give me this loan? You're coming from a place of curiosity, right? Does that move you forward? I think that leaves things of what? Uncertainty. When we don't feel certain about something, it doesn't usually feel that good if it's something that you really want. And so, right. And so it's understanding, what thoughts am I having and how can I choose to change my thought that I'm having. So instead of saying, what if they say no? I know it sounds really silly and really simple, but I'm telling you, it's a muscle you're going to practice. It is not something that happens overnight, and it's not some voodoo thing that you think doesn't impact. I'm here to tell you it 100% does. Instead of saying, what if I don't get the loan? What if I don't get the job? What if they tell me no? What if they tell me yes? What if I do make this thing, right? So you have to change the channel, and I say that in my book, of your channel of focus, because limiting beliefs is a real thing. Quite frankly, the majority of the population are living with limiting beliefs more than they're living with positive, moving forward, empowering beliefs. And even science will show you, Jake, that over 90, I don't even know, I guess I should get this right, but I know it's over 90% of our thoughts, negative thoughts, negative thoughts. And I think it's even probably 98, but over 90% of our negative thoughts are truly false assumptions. That's how we work. And you know why? I say this all the time. Our reticular activating system that God created us all, like it or not, you have it, I have it, Albert Einstein had it, Mother Teresa has it, Bill Gates has it. We all are governed under the same thing. From a neuroplasticity perspective, you have a brain that has a RAS, and they're like antennas that never shut off. Even when you go to sleep, they're up, they're waiting, and they're hearing, right? And so because of that, because of your reticular activating system, you're cultivating a bunch of habits, a bunch of thoughts, a bunch of things that you've learned, and it's habitual. Because most of your limiting thoughts, your negative thoughts, are false assumptions, right? Let's just stick with that for a minute. It's because the job of your RAS is to look at what can go wrong about anything. You start going to the gym, you start reading the Bible, you start writing things that you're grateful for. It's like, whoa, this is unfamiliar territory. Bells go off, unfamiliar territory. What are you doing? We're not used to that, Diana. Stay here in your comfort zone. And as long as you know that that's going to happen, you got to push that much harder and just commit. Don't worry about the whole year. In the next 30 days, I want you every single day to just believe that more is possible. Just for 30 days. Every day, you're going to wake up and say, more is possible today. More, whatever that means for whatever circumstance, more is possible today. And I'm telling you, Jake, it sounds like it's so simple, but people don't do it very consistently. It's very rare, the small that do. And that's why the small percentage is living a life full of joy, full of love, full of abundance in any area of your life, but it doesn't have to be that way. With the more mindset, and quite frankly, with any aspect that you change in your life, you have to be the first person that gets influenced. And by changing one small thing, you're like, whoa, this worked. And then there's a part of our brain that's like, yeah, is this really for real? Is that a coincidence? Did this really happen because I took action and started to invest in the one thing that drives our entire reality, regardless of who you are? Bill Gates, the NBA superstar, football player, everybody is governed under the same thing, the same tools, the same strategies, the mindset that you have to bring at a difficult time will truly determine what comes next for you. People have said a lot of things, you've heard this, affirmations and what have you, but again, it's when you have a thought that says, what if you don't get the job? What if, all this, there's a counter effect that has to happen, because you can have a negative thought. You can say something negative in your mind, like, what if I miss my flight? What if this? Or you say, this isn't going to work because last time I did it, it didn't work. Right? Don't be afraid. Like, that's human things that just happen. Like, we do get thoughts, again, because we're supposed to look, and that serves us. Okay, what if I forget my keys? Nope. That tells me I'm going to grab them right now, put them in my purse right now. I'm not going to go to sleep until I put my keys that happen to be in a place that they shouldn't be, right? You got to have a balance of knowing that, okay, this is sometimes those thoughts happen to help us prepare better, right? And so not everything is bad. It's just what you do with it, right? And so having that inner dialogue, and I think it's practicing that. I'll be in the shower, Jake, and I'm like, today I'm going to learn something new. Today I'm going to feel more energy than yesterday. Today I'm going to be so productive, because yesterday I felt overwhelmed because I had like 27 things instead of 4. And right. And so that's how you start to live a little bit lighter, live a little bit differently, by saying what you say to yourself is more than just positive affirmations. Like, really just practice it and be present with it. Like, today I'm going to have better, more clarity. Today I want more clarity. What do you want? Every day when I drop off my 2 kids at school, they tell me what they're grateful for. 1 thing, 2 things, 3 things, get some meaning behind it. And then they said the last thing before I drop them off at the drop off line, they tell me what their intention is. What is your intention? And then we talk about it in the car, the three of us, because my husband and I take turns. It's a beautiful habit. It's a beautiful habit. I cannot tell you, just by practicing small things. Don't worry about being perfect. Don't worry about all the exercises I teach in the More Mindset. Just start with implementing just one thing. Because if you don't do that, you're going to have thoughts by themselves reactive. It's like throwing the dice and hoping it lands where you want it. You're just driving by default. It's almost like that saying that we all know. If you don't know where you're headed, you're gonna end up somewhere. And I just had that conversation at dinner like a week ago. And my 11-year-old was like, huh? And then he finally got it. He's like, oh, I get it. Because you always have all these paths. Imagine just 5, 7, 10 options. And right. And so where you choose to put your focus and which lane you choose will give you a different outcome. It's not about being afraid to pursue the things that you are curious about. But if you're not doing that, Jake, it's going to happen. You're going to have these thoughts, what if I'm late to dinner? What if this, there's all these thoughts. I wish there was a technology that you can I think there is, but there will be even more, where you just plug it in and you get to get a report. These are all the thoughts you had in the last 10 hours. You'd be like, holy, what? And no one, right? Like, it doesn't discriminate because you're Diana Pagano, somebody that speaks on language and motivation or what have you. Like, I'm not, right? Or Tony Robbins, or, whoever you admire out there. No one it doesn't discriminate. We all have our moments. There's times I lose my SHIT. There's times that I'm like feeling nervous about something. But the difference is that I know what to do. I go to my toolkit. I go to everything I teach in the More Mindset. And it makes a difference, because I want people to understand is that whatever your situation is, bad or, not so good, the impact that you actually can have on the outcome is so much bigger than you think. You could make it worse. Your situation might be bad. It might be heart-wrenching. It might be, a real tragedy. I've gone through so many different things in my life that I didn't know I could even go through, that it was very painful. And so, right. And so we can influence to be a little bit lighter, to breathe a little bit better, just because of what you now know what to do to keep your mind strong and healthy. And even when it's chaotic, big or small, even if it's not that chaotic, but it's like, okay, I'm feeling, even when I'm on podcasts or I'm on stage, sometimes I feel like, okay, I need to calm my nervous system down. I can do it in the backstage as I'm waiting to go. It can take you 30 seconds. I've been at a stoplight and I just breathe. You breathe in deeply, like really fill up those lungs. And then you hold it for 4 and you release it for 5 or 6. Boom. That changes you. That centers you. Now my reaction is going to be calmer, right? And I do teach that as well in the More Mindset.